So I was with you guys yesterday as Jose Mourinho got sacked. Today, me and Jay are here, going to be talking about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the big news coming in today. You're going to be a lot more excited than me, aren't you?
Showing me age now, yeah. We were talking before and you said you barely remembered him, which made me feel quite old because I remember him arriving at United. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a very shrewd move by Ed Woodward, bringing in someone like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer because he's a fan's favourite. He's so popular, even the younger fans like yourself who don't necessarily know him from when you were watching United, but you know what he's achieved. We
watched that goal about 100 times at least, growing up. And I remember when he was leaving, I don't remember I think it was a charity game or something like that. I remember we had that AIG kit the last season, the first season of having that kit, and I just remember everyone just going mad about him leaving and all the fans and how much they loved him and that's when you understood how much he meant to Manchester United fans. So obviously, I think it's a huge appointment, and I think Mike Phelan coming in with him fills me with a bit more confidence because of the Cardiff situation. Obviously, you can't judge him on Cardiff and that, but it's unfortunate that he's not had much experience.
Yeah, it's a strange one because from a sort of emotional United fan point of view, you're like, he's a club legend. Great, Ole coming back to the club. He knows the club. The fans love him. He always gave everything he could in a red shirt, and he'll hopefully bring that into the dressing room. But from a sort of objective point of view, using your head, it is the great unknown, really, because as you said, his time as a Premier League manager was at Cardiff, where they had a poor team, and he couldn't get a tune out of him, which is understandable. So you don't really know whether he's a good Premier League manager or not. Also, his time in Norway, which has been a success with Mould, it's difficult to judge how he can, how he'll do at such a bigger club and a bigger set of expectations at United. But I think in terms of sort of steadying the ship almost, him and, as you mentioned, Mickey Phelan, who knows a lot of the playing staff, knows the structure, it makes sense. And I think it's, like I said earlier, a clever move by the club to just sort of get the fans on board who may be angry at the shambles that is going on at the minute.
I think in the same way as that some of the players have played with him, the ex-players that are obviously on TV, you've got the likes of Giggs, Scholes, everyone that comes on, Rio, they're on there every week and they're hammering the managers that have coming in, so in that way they might lay off him a bit, I think, as well. So all around you're going to get a lot of United fans agreeing with it because it's only a 6-month period and it's just time to rebuild. It's almost as if like it's all gone now, we might as well just go for the Champions League or whatever. So I think you've just got to hope for the best, and it couldn't have got a lot worse.
You're right. I mean,
I think it can't go a lot worse than what it was going to be with Mourinho. In my opinion,
you say that, but if this season sort of ended in disaster, the bad thing about that is it's going to taint Solskjaer's reputation a little bit. He'll still be a legend, obviously, but it's going to be a bit deflating for a lot of us. I can't see us finishing
15th or something nuts like that, but we're already struggling, and I think the energy at the club right now, I feel like as soon as the players are on the pitch, I know a lot of them aren't performing, I know a lot of the players need to be more up for it every game. Sometimes they're just laying off the opposition and it's horrible to watch as a fan. But I think with having Ole in there and having Mike Phelan and Carrick and McKenna, I think they're going to bring a different energy to the club and you're going to see the players play with a bit more freedom, expressing themselves. Because we're conceding goals regardless in these games. We conceded more goals than we did last season already, which is shocking because Mourinho was setting up his teams in a more defensive style. It just doesn't make sense to me, so I just can't see it go worse than it was always going to go, to be honest.
You'd think it'd give everyone a lift, and especially with the fixtures we've got coming up, it's a clever time almost to appoint him because you look at the games we've got coming up, you've got Cardiff, you've got the likes of Huddersfield, I think Bournemouth, you've got Reading in the Cup, you've got Newcastle. These are all winnable games in theory. I mean, we've said that all season, but in theory, he could have sort of 4 or 5 wins under his belt in his first 4 or 5 games, so that can help sort of build a platform. The only sort of question, the biggest question for me is January. What do we do in the January transfer window? Does Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, does he say, right, I want this player, or are the targets already in place, or did the board say we're not buying anyone in January until a new manager comes in the summer? That's the really worrying thing for me. And the main thing is we all know it's not just the manager. The structure of the club is a
I think that's where a director of football steps in, because then the signings you make, you can understand if they're worthy signings or not. So you've got like a centre half. We definitely need a centre half in there because You need a leader, definitely. We're going to be talking about your favourite memory of Ole.
There's so many. The obvious one is and Solskjaer has won it is the one that everyone is going to think of, and that is obviously my favourite memory. But another memory that sticks out of Ole, which I think sums him up as well, is the red card against Newcastle.
I've been watching that. I've been replaying it.
That is what it is about. It's brilliant. Running the length of the pitch. I think it was Robert Lee that went through on goal. I think it was United were drawing at the time or chasing a game. I can't remember, but I remember that we needed to get a win, and Robert Lee went through on goal, and Ole just ran sort of 70 yards across the pitch.
When you watch it at the start, he's not going to even catch him up. No. But then he could have actually pressured him a bit. But I think
he did the right thing. He just took him out, took the red card.
It looks brilliant.
And
no one's doing that.
Stopped him getting. No, I can't see the likes of some of the first team doing that at the minute. But that summed him up. He gave everything for United. Never wins when he was on the bench.
Yeah.
You imagine a player now coming on and scoring 4 goals as a substitute, like Ole did against Forest, and being happy to be sub again, not starting the cup finals. You'd be fuming. He didn't mind that. He just, as long as he sort of was at the club, was at United, he was happy.
That's the mentality.
He gave everything for us.
I think that's why one of the reasons he was appointed is the mentality that he brings, that you're at a big club like Manchester United, and that could help the likes of Lukaku, who, in my opinion, will be dropped. I think he will favour the likes of Martial and Marcus Rashford because of recent form. I think he can install a bit of confidence in the likes of Lukaku, bring him off the bench, build up his confidence and see how it goes. But yeah, thanks those guys. Obviously, big news for us. Hopefully all you guys are excited for what's coming up, and comment below on your views of having Ole as an interim manager, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.